Today's show is going to be interesting. I've never seen Anthony so uncomfortable.
I wish I would have had more conversations about sex. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared at all.
I'm sweating like I'm sitting here having a conversation with my sister about sex.
Yeah.
The extent of the conversation was wait until marriage. But there's no other part of the conversation. So even like what sex is supposed to be in marriage and how it enhances the marriage was not a conversation that I had. And so then when it came time for us to whatever, I just thought it was a duty that I would perform. I didn't even know I was myself supposed to experience pleasure.
Now, before we hop into today's show, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's jump into the video.
Henry family, what's going on, fam?
Hi.
Yo, what up, bro? We chilling, man.
Yo, man. You know, last time we had Glen on the show. Now we got Glen and my little sister, man. Look at the Lord, y'all.
Yes.
Look at the Lord. Yvette, y'all, is my only sister. And she married Glen. How long y'all been married now?
12 years.
12 and a half.
Come on, let her know, Glen. Let her know, Glen.
12 and a half. 12 and a half. We coming up on 13.
Put some respect on that half, Yvette.
Yeah. That's a long time.
You know what?
Yo.
A half matters because I'm 4'11" and a half inches. So.
So let's talk about it. Let's go straight into this because I want to ask y'all a question. 12 and a half years of marriage. I have a lot of single people watching this who desire to be married. Heck, I'm one of them, right? Give me the one lesson. If y'all could go back to day one of your marriage, I'm curious, Yvette, from a wife perspective, what would you change? And then Glen, from a husband perspective, what will you change? Yvette's looking like, huh? Glen is like,
Well, I feel like my answer is always the same.
Okay.
I feel like I wish I would have had more conversations about sex. I don't feel like I was prepared for I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared at all. And so I feel like that connection is such a huge part of the union overall that I wish we would have at least, or I would have at least had that down. And I don't know if it's possible to necessarily fully have it down.
I was going to have that down as a virgin.
Yeah. I know.
Let me show you this. I read
I'm
this
over here
in a
sweating
book.
because hear my sister talking about, I want to talk about sex. And I'm like, oh, Lord Jesus. This is my sister. But I mean, which is true. I mean, that is true. But that's a serious question, Yvette. How would you have done that with your virginity in the beginning, which is something that is praised and worthy because, you know, your two brothers, we definitely were not virgins and you hung in there, but it's like, what would you have done differently with Glen? Would you have had that conversation with him? Would it have been like a therapy type session? Like, what would it have been? Or with someone else?
I probably would have read more books. I would have asked more questions from women that I knew that were married, from my mom. I just would have had more conversations and read more books, I think. I also think that there is a level of, I don't know, I didn't know that we were going here, but I feel like your body, like even just getting to know my body, you know, feeling comfortable in my own skin, exploring my own sexuality.
Yeah.
I know that, and I feel like that's so nuanced when you're coming from a Christian perspective because I'm not trying to, I don't know what I'm saying. Lord,
I don't think that's a nuance. I think that may be different from like how me and you were raised, you know what I'm saying? But I think in today's generation, it's important, you know? I mean,
I know
this is so awkward and funny to me.
It's awkward.
Because I'm looking at both of y'all like, oh my gosh, this is so awkward. And I'm the only one laughing here.
Anthony looks uncomfortable, but I'm actually very comfortable.
No, but you guys are very professional, which is great. But I can know the inner voices you guys both have, and I'm freaking out. It's hilarious. I'm sorry.
Bro,
no, but I'm
over here sweating. You know, I'm sweating. Like I'm sitting here having a conversation with my sister about sex.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we're grown adults.
She grown. She got 4 kids. I know where it come from. I mean, and at least, let's be real, at least she did it with Glen. You know what I'm saying? And I've praised the world. Like, yo, my brother-in-law is a real brother-in-law. Like, you know what I'm saying? At least he ain't no jerk. At least he loved God. And I know for daggone sure he loved my sister and those kids. So it makes the conversation a little bit better. If he would have been a jerk, yeah, this wouldn't have been a good combo.
It probably wouldn't have been a conversation at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. For real. But that's really good though. I mean, because that is something that I've said this. I said, man, I wish both sets of my family's parents would have had that conversation with me about sex. I don't know. I've never said this. My sister went here, so I don't know why we going here. But I don't know if I would have stayed a virgin until I was married, but I think would have waited a lot longer if they would have had like really the conversation with me. Because really the world taught me about sex, not my parents, not people who truly love me. So that's good though. I think that's real good.
I think what's interesting about that conversation that Yvette is talking about is that it's almost like we didn't know how to communicate in a major way. So sex is a place of safety, security, right? Pleasure and all that stuff. But it is a communication. It's like you don't speak a language. And so though Yvette wouldn't have been able to, or probably wouldn't have practiced on learning, right? But it's just kind of like if you study, if you're like a surgeon or something like that, you don't have hours in until you get hours in, but you study for a long time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think that if you don't at all put any time into understanding sex and thinking that it's just natural and human nature or whatever, you're not going to know whether or not you can even communicate verbally with something you're communicating with your body. And so I think that is just kind of lends to what Yvette is saying, because it wasn't so much that she didn't know anything. It's that we weren't allowed to talk about it.
Yeah. And I think that that part is what was really hard, is like the extent of the conversation was wait until marriage, but there was no other part of the conversation. So even like what sex is supposed to be in marriage and how it enhances the marriage was not a conversation that I had. And so then when it came time for us to whatever, I just thought it was a duty that I was supposed to perform. I didn't even know I was myself supposed to experience pleasure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it felt, for me, I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't want to be a part of something where you feel forced, or like I feel like I'm manipulating you, or you're doing this out of some freakish control. I was like, this is whack, straight up.
Yeah.
It was whack for years. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, I'm glad that Yvette has really, it was on her. It was like, hey, I care about you enough to try to work at this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so that's one thing. Can I go into something that I wish I could have changed? Right. So
please do.
You know, I think not harboring so many feelings and like forgiving early during that thing where she's like, I don't want to talk about sex, and I'm building up a significant wall. Like I'm starting to have conversations with God, like, you played me.
Wow. I'm like, that's real though.
Like, nah, like that's real. I got saved, was abstinent, and was like, Lord, I'm waiting. Right?
Yep.
I'm waiting, and I'm gonna honor you. And you know, and then Yvette and I get married, and I'm kind of like, ooh, this ain't this what happened? Like, what did I do? You know what I'm saying? And so,
and I feel like, I'm sorry not to interrupt you, but I feel like there's this saying that the devil will do everything he can before marriage to get you to have sex, and then after marriage to prevent you from having sex. And I feel like the temptation was heavy, and Glenn probably thought I was like super whatever.
Yeah, I thought she was a freak because she was so handsy. And she was just curious. You know what I mean? It was like a science project. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, what is going on? Look, he gone. He gone.
Come back.
Yeah, Glenn, you just said you thought my sister was a freak. This is not a conversation.
I didn't know she was giving off freak. That's what she was giving off. You know what I'm saying?
And I didn't even realize
she didn't even know what she was doing. She didn't even know what buttons she was pressing. And so I was like, when I got in there, I was kind of like, well, what is happening here? Where was the girl who was da-da-da-da? And she was just kind of like, I don't know. And it made me feel, it just was icky, bro. Like it just felt, that's the only word I can say. And I know that word is corny, but it's like, it just doesn't feel like safe, comfortable, clean. Like it felt like sin. To be honest, like it like even us being intimate in marriage felt like a bad thing because it just was so much. And so we hated that experience. We hated that experience. And so that is why we created the Premarital Advantage, which I know we're going to talk about today. But we don't want people walking into marriage without having these significant conversations that are literally pillars to the rest of the years you're going to walk into. You know what I'm saying, with this person.
Yeah. Yo, real quick, you guys, are you looking to change your career here in the year 2023? If so, look no further than Bethel School of Technology, the only Christian online tech boot camp in the world. According to a recent report, Black people make up just about 4% of the U.S. technology workforce. But you see, at Bethel Tech, who I partnered with for this year, they believe that all people, including us Black people, should have access to the lucrative and fulfilling opportunities in the tech industry. Now, with their 9-month program, you'll gain the essential skills you need to start a successful career in technology. And let's not forget the earning potential. You see, according to Indeed, the average salary of a software developer in the US is around $103,000. Say what? You know, you can choose from programs like the cybersecurity and UI UX design and launch your tech career or even a tech business ignited with passion and purpose. So listen, we're going to skip the debt and we're going to invest into yourself for just 9 months that can change the next 9 years of your life. All you got to do is join Bethel Tech today to achieve your career aspirations. Visit anthonyoneal.com/Bethel or click the link in today's show notes today so you can register and start a new journey of your life. Now, you know what? Let's get back to the show because this is a good one today. Let's keep it a buck. And so now since you just said that your Premarital Advantage, this is a course that you all designed not for currently married people, for people like me who's possibly dating someone, correct me if I'm wrong, and who's like, yo, I seriously see you as my significant other, and I want to start the process before we even get to the process.
Right. Yeah, it's something that, you know, before you go to premarital counseling or you watch In Unison with premarital counseling, it's just that other layer of security that's saying, okay, I know I'm supposed to know more about, you know, how you resolve conflicts, but like, where do you lie on, like, what do you do as soon as you have a conflict? Do you hide? Do you confront? Are you combative? Like, what is that really like? You know what I mean? Can you give me some examples of that? Right. So we go deep into these discussions where these are almost mysteries that you figure out on the way to finding and being with that person. Right. Because you know people in seasons, right? Yvette, who she is as a wife now, is nowhere near close to who she was when we first got married. And every single child changed her, right? Every single child changed me. Every single job changed me, right? Who I am now as a man, like I don't know what I was doing when we first got together. I was tutoring math, and I didn't even pass math. You understand me? I was giving cats the wrong answers. Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it was terrible. And I married a math teacher. Like, it was just all bad. You know
I couldn't even trust him to grade my math test.
Yeah. She would grade my grades and be like, you did that wrong, that wrong, that wrong.
Wow.
It was rough.
Yeah. Wow. And so I'm curious, you guys, we are going to drop their information in today's show notes. I definitely want to encourage you that if you are dating someone, I think both of y'all should sit down, get this course, and sit down and have the hard conversations.
Can I interrupt you? I'm just so sorry.
No, you can't interrupt in my show. So like I was saying, not just playing. Go ahead, Yvette.
No, I do want to say that, yes, the course is created for couples, but I do believe that even single people would benefit from the course, and newlyweds. Like, if you're in your first year or two of marriage, I do believe, and you didn't necessarily do premarital counseling or whatever, I do believe that our mentorship e-course that we designed would be beneficial to you as well. I feel like it's beneficial to singles because it also gives them conversations to be having with themselves before entering a dating relationship. And if you're newly dating, but you're serious about taking it somewhere else, I think it's applicable to anybody up to 2 years marriage, from single to 2 years married. I think could benefit from it.
That's really good. So what is one thing, me as a single person, I should be having a conversation with myself about that y'all teach and really expand on inside of the course?
I think a lot of times, and one of the things that we talk about in the course is your how your family of origin impacts the way you view gender roles within marriage, the way you handle conflict. It impacts so much of who we are. And I think if you take the time to acknowledge some of the things that have come as a result of your experience with your family of origin, it gives you insight into what you're taking into relationships. And I think the neat thing about it is that even if you are a single person, you still are in community with people. You still have interactions with people. And so when you encounter conflict, how do you deal with that conflict in relationship with other people? And if you take time to acknowledge how your family of origin is informing that, or whatever belief systems that have already been kind of built up in you already, it gives you a lot of insight when you're walking into a relationship. You are, I like to think of the Premarital Advantage as a like readiness course. Like, we're not saying your marriage is going to be great. We're not, I mean, we're hoping that if you apply the things that we share with you in the Premarital Advantage,
at least have the conversations. That won't be a mystery.
Yes. Yeah. And so I think there's a level of readiness to it. For example, when I walked into marriage, I was not ready for sex, right? I was a virgin. I didn't have many conversations about sex. I didn't read any books about sex. There was just so much I didn't know. And as a result, I was at a readiness level of 0. Right? The Premarital Advantage is to help people avoid the readiness level of 0 and take you further along.
Yeah, we explain like the definition of all like intercourse and all that stuff, right? Because some people like, hey, what hole do it go in? You know what I'm saying? Like they don't know nothing. You understand me? And I'm tired of that.
Lord Jesus.
You know what I'm saying? That's annoying.
Yeah.
Right? So I think the module.
Some people.
Right. Some people. What hole do it go in? What? You sure? Okay, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. So anyway, I think the module is good. The module that is good for single people. Another one is the individual and combined goals.
Yeah.
We talk about how just because you get married or you're getting married or getting into a relationship, you do not have to give up on your dreams and goals and stuff like that. Because that's what people think. People think as soon as, hey, I'm getting tied down. Yeah. I'm ready to get cuffed up and locked down. Like they say that as if it's some type of prison. But if I communicate, hey, I got a dream to go to Trinidad, to go here, and I want to do this, and I want to go to Jamaica, and I want to do this. Hey, I don't want to do that. That's okay. You can still do that even though I don't want to, or maybe we can work together and see what I am willing to do. You know what I'm saying? But just because, right, we get married, that doesn't mean my dreams die and her dreams die. Because I thought that's what happened too. Like, oh, I got to stop doing music because I'm married now, you know, and it actually made me a better artist, I believe. You know what I'm saying? A more vast artist. So I'm not just telling stories from an MC's perspective, but through video and all types of stuff, short films. Hello. You know what I'm saying?
Storyteller, baby.
You know what I mean? So yeah. So I think the individual and the combined goals modules is really solid for single people as well.
So inside of this this mentorship that you all are building, because I think this is not a course. This is a mentorship, a community that you are building to help people go from 0 to at least ready in their marriages and have healthy marriages. And over the 12 years, you all have done a lot, accomplished a lot, went through a lot, got through a lot. I'm curious on this part. Do you all talk about finances at all inside of the e-course?
We do.
Yeah. We have a whole module on finances.
A whole module?
Yeah.
What is one thing y'all think single people should be doing, or what's the conversation? Because, like, you know, I'm going to keep it above, man. When I go on dates, one of the very first conversations I'm having is, what's your thoughts around money? You already know who I am. You already know I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And some people say I should not talk about that. But I'm like, well, why hide it? And then we're not aligned. And then 2 months in, I'm feeling the girl. Now I gotta let her go because we ain't aligned on the money.
I gotta let her go.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of conversation that just about what do you believe about money? What is it for? Right? What's the intention behind it? Because some people you'll get to know right off the bat, hey, so how do you feel about money? Like, what are some of your dreams and goals? And if they talk about, hey, I would love to be able to save for this. I would love to be able to invest and grow my money like this. And somebody's like, I'm trying to go Dubai immediately. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole different conversation. You get the answer early, right? Yeah. You don't have to. You don't have to say. It don't got to be super deep in the conversation, right? Now, some people know the right answers to say, but if we think about it and we ask questions like, what was your evidence? What was your evidence of good money in the past? So how did your parents spend money, right? What were some of the habits you guys did, right? If it's not even in their DNA, in their history, right? Their account right now should speak for that, right? And some people make decisions off of how their parents spent money before. And I would say this, when Yvette and I first got married, I was like extremely tight. I didn't want to spend no money for nothing. And that's something that I would change in the past, right? From the past. I would travel with my wife more, right?
Wow.
I would go places and spend money. And the reasons why is we can't go nowhere. we can't do nothing.
Now. Yeah.
Because of the kids.
I mean, it's not even necessarily because of kids as much as
it's because of the kids, man. They are everywhere, and there's so many of them. You know what I'm saying? And the dog,
the dog. That was the don't buy a dog, y'all. Anywho, I was gonna say, what was I gonna say? Oh, we actually have you in our we shout you out in our what's it called? The book,
E-course.
The handbook.
Oh, the workbook.
The handbook. We say, these are some people that you should consider following
100%.
if you are looking for wisdom on finances. But we definitely have those conversations, and it is one of those things. I mean, because when you get down to the itty gritty,
nitty gritty.
Oh,
see, that's your fault. She don't know no slang.
When you get down to the nitty gritty, I feel like so much of what we bring to a marriage has to do with our family of origin and just like how we've been groomed or bred into the world. And so we have them in that particular module ask a lot of reflective questions about past and current and like some of the things. And sometimes people may have already actually been working on creating healthier habits surrounding money, but you want to make sure that you and your partner are aligned, because it's like one of those things where do you want to prioritize budgeting for fun? Like that's a conversation that Glenn and I could have had before we got married, but we didn't, And so I think that is important to navigate.
Well, you guys, we are going to drop Yvette and Glenn's link in today's show notes. Make sure you all go check it out because it will definitely bless you tremendously. I promise you, they've been working on this for a while. And if y'all know anything about the business and the brand that these two have built, they're very big on excellence, very big on quality and making sure that you're getting the value for it. So we're going to drop it in today's show notes. Make sure y'all go check it out because it will bless you tremendously. I'm going to check it out as a single person. It's my sister and brother-in-law. So I'm going to get some wisdom too because they've been married for 12 and a half years. I can't even stay in a relationship for 12 and a half months. So I need to get some wisdom. I need to get something. And that's just the truth. I mean, hey, I have no problem admitting that there are some things that I should learn while I'm single, because I want to maximize my single season correctly. And why not learn from people who are young, vibrant, who has built something, they've gone through trials inside of their marriage, and look at them still here today and loving each other. That's the kind of knowledge we need to be getting because that's very, very important. Yvette, I want to ask you a question because every single show I have, sis, every single show I have, if there is a successful lady that comes to my table, I ask them one question. When you met Glenn, you already had your master's degree. You were winning. You were what they would call. Why are you shaking your head?
Because I don't have a master's degree. I had my teaching credential.
You had something else. What did you have?
My teaching credential.
Yeah, bachelor's.
Yeah, your teaching credential.
But I was I was together. Yeah. I get your point. I get your point.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was going to say, wait, am I off? You went to 4 years of school, then you had to do something else. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So trying to play me on my own show. So you had all that, successful, making good money, right?
No.
And then Glenn comes across the table, and it's not a knock on Glenn. I asked all ladies. Glenn wasn't making six figures. You know what I'm saying? And in today's day and time, I asked ladies, could you date a guy who makes $40,000 a year? And the majority of them say no. I'm curious, you married a guy who wasn't making six figures. What would you say to that single person that is saying, you know what? I'm successful. I got a degree. I'm making good money, but I'm not dating a school teacher. I'm not going to date someone who's making $42,000 a year. What would you say to that woman, that single woman right now? And then I'm going to come over to Glenn as a man and ask him to answer that too.
Hold on. You got a chocolate baby trying to come in here. Come in.
Chocolate baby. Who that?
Who is it? Who is it?
It's probably Uzi the way the door.
Anaya.
What
do you want, baby?
Anaya.
Here, come say hi to Uncle Anthony.
What up, Anaya?
Hurry up and don't fall.
And be careful.
Don't
Watch
fall.
the cords.
Come on.
You on national TV. What up, that little niece?
Say hi.
Hi.
Girl, you look good. You look so good. That's my little niece.
Oh man, here comes.
What you want, baby?
The whole family coming in now?
No, yeah.
What you want?
So, is Bray gonna watch us?
No.
Or...
I don't think so.
No.
Did she ask to watch you?
Okay,
Yeah.
go, lady. Go.
Uzi!
Say hi to Uncle Anthony.
What up, Ooze? What's up? Man, that man clean.
Go watch,
We're
please.
almost done, babe.
Almost done. See, you can't do
that
nothing.
Man clean. That man clean.
We can't do nothing,
So back
bro.
to...
Close the door.
We can't do nothing. See?
Hey, bro, listen. I see why you can't go nowhere. You can't even talk with me for 20 minutes.
Uzi, Zaya.
Close the door. Naya, close the door, please.
Oh, Naya's still in here? All right. So I feel like one of the things that Glenn and I repeat often is who you marry is not who you end up with. And so for me, I think that the biggest thing to look for in the person that you're marrying is good work ethic and drive. And maybe they don't necessarily have the drive in the moment, but I don't even know how to.
I had drive.
You did have drive, but I'm just saying, like, I don't necessarily know how to explain. It's kind of, y'all don't discount me for this, but I feel like it's something that you just know. Like there is a element of you know what I'm saying? Like for Glenn, he was eating peanut butter and honey sandwiches out of the trunk of his car. Like he kept a loaf of bread, peanut butter and honey in his trunk.
In your
and he
trunk?
was eating it.
Yeah, that's because I wasn't paid like that, but I wasn't going like spend money and
so it was
charge
like
of a credit card. So it was
he wasn't irresponsible. There was no element of irresponsibility in him. The community that surrounded him spoke volumes about accountability, about just even helping to like push him forward. You know what I'm saying? He had it in and of himself, but the way that he valued that accountability and the people that he chose to allow to speak into his life, I just knew he wasn't going to stay there. And even like his faith in and of itself spoke volumes to me too, because I was like, well, if you got God as your center and as your focus, then I know you're going somewhere because, are you picking my mustache?
No, it's something else.
You jerk.
It was a little piece. I didn't
on
notice
national television.
Well, I'm just saying, it's not your mustache. It's the crumbs.
What crumbs?
It's just a little crumb. I don't know what you was eating.
I didn't eat anything.
Sorry. I'm sorry, babe.
I'm speaking.
So yeah, God at the center, Yvette.
God at the center.
Yeah, and the truth of the matter is that in conversation with Glenn, he challenged me. He was also like pulling things out of me that I knew were going to help me grow. As he likes to say, he was sturdy. I'm just kidding. He was also very fine, and he had that Baltimore swagger that I just love. But that has nothing to do with anything. Mm-hmm. So I just knew I don't know. I feel like there are some tangible things that I just listed, but I also feel like we as women and humans, not even just the women, but the men too, we can feel it and we can see it and we can understand within ourselves if this is something that we are willing to, or someone who we are willing to invest in to help grow. Because technically, ideally, we are helping each other grow. Mm-hmm. Glenn has helped me grow just as much as I have helped him grow. Mm-hmm. We are making each other better. Mm-hmm. And we don't want to be married 12 years down the line to the same person we were married to at the beginning.
No.
Because that's just...
You changed.
Yeah.
You're supposed to.
You're supposed to change. You're supposed to grow and develop.
Yeah. Dude, I didn't know that. Peanut butter and honey out of the trunk to now you've built a 7-figure business.
Mhm.
Like, bro, that's massive. And it's like, and I don't want to downplay my sister, but Yvette could have missed out. If she just would have only looked at, dang, he's eating peanut butter and honey out of his trunk. That ain't the kind of man I want. I want a man who's eating that at that time at Red Lobster. I want a man who driving this and driving that. You know what I'm saying? And now look, y'all have a beautiful family, a beautiful major business, one of the top channels on YouTube in the world. So Glenn, talk to those sisters who are...
He's our hype man. I like it.
No, Glenn, I want to talk to the sisters. I think my sister talked to the sisters. Talk to them single brothers, man, who are like, yo, that's where I'm at. I'm only making $30,000 a year right now. I'm eating peanut butter and jelly. I don't do honey like Glenn. I do jelly. Mm-hmm. But it's like ladies are looking over them. But like ladies are, nah, you ain't doing nothing. Like, and they're getting depressed. They're trying to be men of integrity and character, but they ain't getting them nowhere. It's not getting them the ladies that they want. Like, so I'm wondering, Glenn, like, what would you say to that single person who needs to take your course? But what would you say to that single man that feels like he ain't winning because he doesn't have that honey, as far as in the lady, because of where he's at financially and career-wise right now?
I like what he did there.
Yeah, I like that. Good playing words. So I would say that, one, I do want to just help people understand how much like of a great woman I have, right? Mm-hmm. She is incredible and she just keeps growing. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when you think there's like, she's not going to get this one. We're good. This is where we stop. You know what I'm saying? All right, Lord, thanks. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to leave you alone. I'm not going to pray no more right now because it is not. But she just keeps like, oh, wait a minute. I had a thing. I thought, you know what I'm saying? And I would say that, you know, there's a level of patience that you have to have when you're waiting for the right anything. You know what I'm saying? And so what we find are people who are willing to trade their comfort and their like happiness for their future, right? Yvette is not, nor has she ever been someone who allows you to just sit still, right? She's going to ask you really tough questions. And I have been blessed by the accountability that she has given me, right? Most younger men would shy away from that accountability because it looks like disrespect. It looks like challenging, and they don't want that. Yeah, they want someone who's quiet, who doesn't ruffle their feathers or rub them the wrong way. But then they end up being average for a long time.
That's so good,
right? And so what we're looking at is not, someone who's concerned about money, but they're concerned about where we are headed as an entity. And that's kind of what we have here. So I never was looking for, excuse me, I was never looking for potential or someone who was convenient, right? I wanted someone who knew where they were going and I could help and allow, whatever I could bring to the table would just match her energy, right? I think a lot of us men in our community were raised by single mothers, right? I'm not saying the majority of us, but a lot of us were. And so what we have is a very interesting view on women in general that I think that we think that because we saw a strong Black woman do all these great things by themselves, that our wives don't need us, right? Wow. Black women don't need us, right? Wow. But they do. And so when I'm able to connect and listen to my wife from a spiritual place, right? Intuition, I'm able to hear her and see her. I can meet the needs that she has, and it doesn't feel like she's winning or I'm losing. I'm always on her team. 100% of the time. She don't even know it. She doesn't even recognize it. She kind of like, what you trying to do? You know what I'm saying? Like I was just trying to pick a crumb off her thing. She thought I was picking her mustache. I'm always on her team. You understand me?
Is it this? Are you seeing this?
No, babe. It was a real crumb.
Oh.
It was a real tortilla.
I didn't have a tortilla.
You had something.
I haven't eaten today.
You had something. I was just trying to get that off. And she was like, what you trying to do on mustache? You know what I'm saying? I'm always on her team. It just doesn't look the same. So what I would love to do for young men is just to recognize that it's going to take a while because it's super hard to find.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
And sometimes it's not even hard to find. It's hard to grow with because it doesn't start. Like Yvette wasn't always respectful. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a time I had to tell her like, hey, you talking to me like that in front of people, it makes me not want to be around you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And she's like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, you got to figure it out because I'm feeling uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And those are rough conversations. Some dudes will say, you talk to me like that, I'm gone. She don't respect me. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
She got I'm a king, such and such. Man, you didn't earn no respect, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, we have had to, and I know people hate this word, but we have had to train each other on how to communicate love and invest in each other.
Yeah.
And we will forever be doing that. And that is the rhythm. That's the goal for a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
But why is that such a hard thing to hear? Like train each other. And I understand the negative, but I'm like, but if I love her, I need her to train me on how to love her. I need to train her on how to love me if we love each other.
Because we push to the negative. So if someone says, yeah, you got to train your man, that sounds like you got to train your dog, right? But if someone goes, no, you got to train your client as a professional gym owner or personal trainer, that's totally fine. You know what I'm saying? You got to go to on-the-job training for your job, right?
Yeah.
In this relationship, you're going to be in training for the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life.
Come on, man.
Right? And in every relationship you will be. So we just got to change the way we receive these words.
Yeah.
Yvette, I'm curious because I know where you get that toughness from you. We probably have one of the toughest and most loving mothers on the planet of the earth. Because I know she's watching this. I know she's gonna be like, "Excuse me," but that's our mama, and that's fine. And I'm curious, Yvette, when Glenn told you, because I recently just told this to a young lady who I was getting to know. She talked to me like I was one of her kids. You know, and I was like, hey, Queen, I mean, listen, you're not creating a space for me to feel safe to share my feelings. I feel disrespected. Can we stop this? And she told me, you have some healing you need to do. And I was like, I was just trying to let you know. I just didn't like the way you was talking to me. What does that have to do about me healing? So I'm curious, what clicked for you to realize, okay, maybe there is something I do need to change a little bit so that my husband can receive what I'm saying and he doesn't feel disrespected? Like, was it hard for you to get to that point as a strong woman that you are?
I mean, definitely it took a lot of intention because especially with the respect like piece, I feel as though for Glenn, it never looked the same. You know what I mean? So like when I'm teaching my students to do a math problem, there are a couple different ways to approach the problem to get to the solution. But with respecting my husband, it could disrespect could show up differently in different like seasons of life, in different scenarios or environments. And so one of the things that I needed to do was to be receptive. I mean, like, and I'm always receptive. And so there would be like, oh, Yvette, this makes me feel disrespected. And so I'd be like, okay, I'm going to work on this. But the thing about it is we can't have laser focus on just the one thing. We have to be open to everything that respect encompasses for him. Wow. And so it is a matter of me being trained. And then also I think too that we've gotten to a place where with him continually showing me or like pointing out how disrespect is showing up, there's an overarching theme that I'm starting to acknowledge in which his respect is really a feeling of safety. It's not so much a like, I don't know how to describe it. It's not so much like, oh, you yelled at me in front of whomever or whatever. It's like, I didn't feel safe in that moment. And I needed to feel safe. And so for me, when I get to understand, because in one moment it could be like me talking about talking to him with a certain tone in front of people. But then in another moment, it could be me like convincing him to go on a weekend getaway with people that we had no business going on because we had other things within our own sphere of life that we needed to prioritize.
You beating all around it. You might as well go ahead and say what happened.
No, I'm just saying like it shows up differently. Mm-hmm. And at the bottom line, I have come to understand that respecting my husband is allowing him to feel safe. It's creating a safe space for him no matter what the context of the situation is. Yeah. And I also, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but you was about to cut me off. One of the things that Glen has, like Glen doesn't ask for a lot. He don't ask for a lot. And he's told me he wants 3 things. He wants respect, he wants sex, and he wants food. And so for me, it's like, I'm going to try to work on all 3 of those things, but like, it's not a lot. I mean, it's a lot, but it's not, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's a lot when you're talking about the time that goes into all those things, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And so for me, I'm just trying to be intentional, like, and it is kind of a juggling act. We talk about balance versus juggling. Mm-hmm. And it is one of those things where like, at certain points, I'm doing really good at respect, but I'm doing really bad at like food or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it's just the season of life that we're in. And I think that is something that we have come to honor with each other is that, you know, at certain points of our life, we'll be excelling in one area and we won't be necessarily excelling in the other. Mm-hmm. But that is just an element of grace that we have to extend to each other.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, this has been a great combo. This has been a great combo. It's been a little interesting to hear my sister for the very first time in my 38 years of living and her 35 years of living, hear her talk about sex. But it's been healthy. It's been healthy.
Yeah.
And I love to see my sister talk about it in from the perspective of her husband. And I think a lot of us should be talking about that for perspective a lot more. And so I want to encourage you all to join their community, join their family, and really learn from people who have learned a lot. And y'all over the next 12 years are going to be learning, you know? And so I think this is a great mentorship program for you all to join. Mm-hmm. Like I said before, we're going to have their information in today's show notes. Please make sure that you all get it. Let's bombard them. Let's I didn't even say that right. Bombard. Yeah. Bombard them and sign up because it will be a huge blessing to you. I promise you that much. So check it out. Before y'all leave, I got to ask this question live. Uh-oh. Should I be expecting a little niece or a little nephew in the next year?
Absolutely not.
Not from us. Not from me. Not from me. No. I got a vasectomy, proud vasectomy on this side. You know,
but he never went back to the doctor, so he be so proud about it. But he never went and got it checked up on. Yeah. So who knows what could happen?
Yeah. You know, you never know. You know what I'm saying? Either way, you know what I'm saying? It ain't mine.
So no more chocolate, baby.
I'm done.
I'm not leaving though. What? I'm staying for the baby. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm 12 years deep. I'm gonna be the best uncle ever. You know what I'm saying?
You are a nut.
I ain't going nowhere.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's my brother-in-law, y'all. That's my brother-in-law.
All day.
Lord Jesus. Well, listen, I'm gonna holler at my little brother and make sure I need to get John on the show. I haven't had him on the show. I need to get him on the show. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all want to see my little brother on the show. Because I think it's about that time. I don't know what we could talk about, but we're gonna talk about something.
Yeah, y'all go ahead and do that.
This will be a good show. But y'all, listen, not only check out their mentorship and their e-course, you guys, make sure y'all follow How Married Are You?
What the heck? You better say that over and cut it out.
It's How Married Are You?
Yeah.
But I
do the podcast. I just want to make sure it's like, how married are you?
You know how busy this man is? He got so many people.
No, he needs to know it. You better say it again. Yeah.
I ain't married yet, so I don't be listening to that like that. I watch the Chocolate Babies, but I ain't married yet. I don't be hearing all that stuff.
Say it again.
You might find your wife in the comment section. Might find your wife in the comment section.
Our wedding party rolled deep. You better get your life together.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm good.
Actually, you would be surprised at how many inquiries I get about you.
Yeah,
hey man, I'm
it's
pretty sure you get a
ridiculous.
lot of them, but that's fine though. Y'all know me. She got to have a Bible, the booty, and brains. Y'all know already.
The
So
3Ds.
yeah.
Put the Bible in the brains first.
Yeah, and then the booty.
Those two are important.
Now,
You need to take the premarital advantage.
I keep it real. You know, I mean, as long as she loved the Lord and she got the body, I ain't really worried about too much about the brains. You know, I wanted to have some brains.
Oh, come on, bruh. Come on. We got to
I'm
take the
just
course
playing.
ASAP.
We gonna send you a free code.
See,
you don't
see,
even have to pay for it.
Yeah.
You just get it.
Yeah, we gonna put them.
Y'all know I'm just messing, man. But y'all so funny. But y'all, man, make sure y'all follow them out, y'all. We're gonna drop all their information, both their Instagrams on the in the show notes, their e-course and their podcast link. How married are you? They have some real good conversations, and I don't listen to some of them because that's still my little sister.
Mm-hmm. I get you.
I understand.
It ain't Fabby.
I really don't, you know, I don't want to be my sister, let my brother do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So y'all go listen. Don't comment. Hey, Glenn said this about your sister. I don't care. I don't want to know. I don't even want to know. But I love them dearly. Follow them, you guys. And y'all, thank y'all so much for listening. We'll see y'all on the next show. Peace out.